Okay, hard on yourself and irritable with others. You may be in need to go on our FITcation retreat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, indeed. Oh man. All right. So this is to all of my perfectionists, all of my like anxiety folks, all of my I've been there. I've definitely been there. Yeah, I think for me, it's when I want to, like, I have all this stress going on around me. So I think the psychology behind it is that I really want, something to go right. So I'm like, okay, we gotta do this and we gotta do it like this. And I'm zoned into it. And all before I know it, I'm like overworking and I'm over criticizing myself. And I'm mad with anybody else who's not on the same wavelength with me. And then after that, it's like I experience a burnout.
Right. I mean, we are our harshest critics. Like anyone who is any type of creative or a perfectionist, we are our harshest critics. And sometimes we kind of lash out and are irritable with others and don't even realize that we are,
Right.
and then have to turn around and kind of explain why we are doing the things or why we said the things that we said, just because we are trying to be the best kind of version of ourselves that we can be.
Okay.
So one of the things that I know for myself, it's that perfectionist piece. Like, and I didn't realize this until I got much older. Like when I was younger, I don't even think that I
It was
was
just a way of life, when we were younger. Like, this is how I am. I just am.
Right. I don't even think that I was anything close. And I didn't even think I wasn't even anything close to a perfectionist. But now I'm just like, I need this to be done like this and this and this. Now, do I let being perfect stop me from doing things? No. But as I'm doing things, do I kind of nitpick on things that probably could be done quicker? Yes. And so one of the things that we are going to kind of work on together with you is kind of how to hone in on that and still be able to achieve those goals, but kind of relax that feeling of having to be perfect, that feeling of that perfectionism making you feel a bit of anxiety. So, I mean, it's, and like I said, it's everyone. Look, we're talking about it right now. We're talking about our own experiences.
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely like not immune and exempt from this. But I think the important thing about what we're here to teach you is how to manage this, and however it ends up manifesting in you. If some people, it's going to be like, oh, I don't feel like I'm a perfectionist. I don't feel like I'm controlling, but I do know that I bring stressors back home with me from work. Or, I'm in this relationship and I'm stressed behind this relationship, so I'm going to take that out on my children, right? Like we see that all the time. And it's like, okay, how do you, one, acknowledge that this is an unfair situation to you and everybody else around you, to be irritable and be stressed out. And then two, like, how do we manage that? How do we move beyond that? How do we do the things we want to do? How do we live the life we want to do and be able to, time manage in a way where we're breezing on through life as opposed to always being on high alert?
Right. And I think being on high alert is something that as a society here, I would say here in the United States,
yes, American.
I think as a society, it's something that is kind of celebrated, always being busy, always being on the go, being the best mom, employee or employer, entrepreneur, the best wife, doing everything. And
so right.
And being able to do it and still keep a smile on your face, right? And not letting anyone know or see that you are super burnt out. That's kind of celebrated, and it's so unhealthy. But in our society, it's something that's celebrated. So we want to kind of, pull that, again, pull that back because it's not healthy. I don't remember seeing my like grandmother burnt out. Maybe she was, and she didn't show it. But there were also times where I saw her, take time to herself, do things for herself. Although my grandmother worked, she was also an entrepreneur. And I think that was kind of her pull away from always working and being on the go and then raising the kids and having the grandkids. So kind of doing something for herself, and so we want you to be able to do that and not feel guilty about doing that. That's the most important part.
that guilty component too, I think is so important, because it's a lot of folks that they do feel like, wait, I should be dedicating more time to my job, or I should be dedicating more time to my family, or I should be dedicating more time to, you know, whatever it is. And they don't think I need to also dedicate time to myself,
Yeah.
you know. And we were having a conversation earlier, you know, you and I, about how it's also important for us to remind ourselves of that, because, you know, when you're super busy and you're doing things, it's like, wait, hold up, pause. You know, that's why you have friends and accountability folks, that people in your circle that say, wait, hold up, you're doing too much. Like,
Right.
let's bring it back. Let's bring you back to, you know, a place of being grounded and seeing the world for as it really is, rather than being pulled here and there by the inertia of how you think you're supposed to be, what you
Right.
think you're supposed to be doing, being
Right.
busy for busy's sake. It's not, yeah, that's not healthy.
And it's
That's not where
super,
we want to be.
it's super important to have those types of friends in your life, because you may have friends in your life, but your friends may be kind of in the same boat as you, overworking, overdoing everything, overachieving at all times at everything, and not really taking those breaks. But when you have friends who have learned that type of balance, those are the ones that you want to have in your life, because then those are the ones that can say, like, kind of, hold up, let's go away for 3 or 4 days, let's go on this little retreat, come on, let's take a little break. Those are the
Mhm.
friends that you want, because those are the
And
ones.
bring those friends with you. It could
Exactly,
be a group
exactly.
experience, you
Right,
know.
right. And
Yeah,
those
and everybody has the same information.
exactly, and those are the ones who recognize that maybe you're doing too much. Those are the ones that that you want to have. And taking those breaks allows you to kind of take a moment, so that you're not irritable with other people, so that you're not irritable with your children, because once the children come in, you're already at peak level, and then here come the kids, and they just kind of take you over, and then you tend to take it out on them when it really has nothing to do with them. You would love to embrace them, but
Mm-hmm.
you're just so overwhelmed by life and everything else that you are trying to achieve, that you start kind of throwing things out at the kids, at your spouse, at anyone around you who really loves you and wants to see you succeed, but they don't understand what it is that you're going through on the inside.
That's right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to think about when we talk about like our retreats, and especially this retreat to Costa Rica, which, you know, deals with habit change, and it deals with, you know, holistic wellness, and it deals with stress management, deals with all of these different things. There's so many tools that we're going to be giving. But I think that, you know, one of the main things is that to be able to remove yourself from your current environment, to be able to remove yourself from your current stressors, I think is so important. And it's one of the reasons why, you know, we carefully vet where we're going to be hosting these retreats. And we talk about Costa Rica being, you know, this country where there's this sense of peace. And I mean, even the motto, Pura Vida, it's like, you know, chill, you
Right.
know. And that's where we need to be. This is almost antithetical to how we operate here in the States, you know. And to be able to learn, especially, you know, we talked in the last video about there being a blue zone in the country of Costa Rica, and we're thinking about learning from, you know, learning from these cultures. We have to think, let's take some of that back with us. So first, let's remove ourselves from the stressor.
Right. That's the
And
first.
then two, that's the first thing. And you're not going to get it here in the US, because we like you said, this kind of way of being is rewarded and encouraged here in the States. So we have to get out of this country for just a little while, you know. And we got to rethink some things. We got to rethink about how we're treating ourselves, how we're treating others, and what our strategies are for dealing with these stressors when we come back home.
Right. And not only that, one thing that a lot of us, I'm not saying all, but a lot of us, when we are in the stress zone of our environment, we do not take advantage of the way Mother Nature and the environment can really kind of ground us and bring us back to who we are and where we need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about Costa Rica, beautiful rainforests, beautiful hiking,
Oh,
water. So it kind of grounds you. So you'll have the opportunity to just, walk barefoot. When was the last time that you walked barefoot if it was not inside of your home? Like,
Oh yeah. I
no,
don't, only on the beach.
right. So we don't really get the opportunity to do that. And so for many of us who are not into yoga and walking in the grass, and grounding ourselves because we're afraid to walk in dog poop or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
in Costa Rica, you have that opportunity. I mean, when you and I went, it
Yeah.
was an opportunity to just kind of be free and release yourself and just take the shoes off and walk, feel the earth, let the earth feel you. I think
Yeah.
that's really, really important. Sit under
Have
the
that
water,
magnetic connection.
right, to get that connection back so that you can release. I years ago, and I'm pretty sure you watched Different World too.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
remember
yeah.
there was an episode where she would say, relax, relate, relax,
Oh,
relate, release, relax,
yep.
relate, release. And when you're young,
Mhm.
you're not realizing, okay, like, what are they talking about when you're young and you're watching it?
We're laughing at it when we're young,
Right.
right?
But
You
as
didn't
you get
understand
older,
it.
you're like, yeah, relax, relate to what's going on around you, and allow yourself to release all of the stress and the pressures and the anxiety. And I think a beautiful place to do that is Costa Rica.
Yeah. And I think too, when you say release the anxiety and the stress, that doesn't mean release it onto somebody else.
Right.
Right. and
Exactly.
it and it doesn't mean release it into yourself either, where you start to harbor the
Right.
stress, right? Because harboring stress, leads us to a whole host of other health issues. um
Exactly.
so this is important. This is beyond just what feels good. This is what is good, what is necessary for this change to happen, so that you can be good for yourself, you can be good for your families, you can be good for your children, for your loved ones. We need this, and we're not, necessarily cultured into this.
Yeah.
So with Marina and I, making sure that we put together, this retreat for you. We know that it's a life altering experience,
Absolutely.
and we know the value of what we're giving you. You're going to leave this when you come. You're going to come one way, and you're going to leave a completely different individual,
Absolutely.
completely rethinking how you're, examining your stressors and how you're interacting and communicating with those people around you.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. You're going to be able to do something that one of my elder clients said to me one day. I was working with a client and there was a kid outside screaming, like the child was crying and screaming. You can tell that the child was unhappy. And my client said to me, "Don't you wish that we could scream like that?" She said, as
Yeah.
adults, like we don't get to scream like that anymore. And
Yeah.
it dawned on me that as an adult, you're not allowed to scream like that when you're angry or frustrated. And a lot of times when you are screaming like that, you're screaming like that at someone else. And
Yep.
so
Or people are looking at you like, ooh, something's wrong with
what
them.
I
Yeah.
did a day or two later, I was in my car driving to go to another client. I was frustrated. I literally at the red light just started screaming in my car. And people were looking at me and I
And
did
how did that
not care.
feel?
I didn't care because I was like, okay, I'm feeling some type of way. I don't want to talk, right? I had no words for it. I just wanted to release it.
Yeah.
And what is the way that you release? You yell, you get it out.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and I did it. And by the time the light turned green, I was perfectly fine. I
Feel
went
better.
on with my day. And so that the analogy that I just gave you is Costa Rica. That
Mhm.
yell is Costa Rica with no judgment, all freedom, open mouth, no one looking at you. It is you yelling to yourself, girl, get it back, get
That's
yourself
right.
back,
That's right.
And so I'm so looking forward to our retreat, so looking forward to do this work with you. I'm
I can't
telling
even
you,
wait. I can't even wait. I want to see who we get to work with. We're only taking 20, so it's a small group. We're going to have one-on-one sessions, we're going to have group sessions. But, first and foremost, this is going to be something where, there's not hundreds of folks that we're letting
right,
in. We're only letting in a small group to work with. So I can't even wait.
And
Really, I
most
cannot
importantly,
wait. I just been like this, like a
right,
kid, like,
right,
"Ah!"
right. And most importantly, like you said, we're going to have one-on-ones, we're going to have groups, but we're also going to have fun
Oh
because
yeah.
all
Oh
goals
yeah.
is no
First and
fun.
foremost.
What is it for? We are going to work with you, on you, but we are also going to have fun with you. And that's another reason why we've decided to have such a small group of people come, because we want to be able to work with you individually. We want to be able to interact with you guys the whole time that you are there. And
Mhm.
with 100 people, even 50
Can't do
people,
that. Can't do
you
that.
can't really touch people the way that you want to touch people. So yes, 20 spots is what we
That's it.
are hoping that you are going to take one of those 20 spots.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we have all the information below, so you can see the link to our website, to the actual retreat. Anything, any questions that you have, you can reach out to us on social media. I'm at Coach Brandy Nick.
And I'm at Irina George on all platforms.
There we go. All right,
Yep.
and we will see you at the retreat.
In Costa Rica.
There we
Bye.
go. Bye.